Okay. Oh, I was just gonna say, basically in terms of being trauma informed, I think the main thing is like having your own choices. So everything in this class is your choice. And I just will offer a lot of suggestions. So I'm Micki. I'll just repeat my introduction a little bit. This is Christian, and welcome to Gentle Yoga in the Park. Or it could be more strenuous if you want it to be. It doesn't have to be gentle. So we'll start out on our backs. I love to come into constructive rest pose, and that's just lying on the back. It's like whenever my teacher says, do you want to lie on your back? I'm like, yeah, I do. But if you don't want to, you can always stay upright. And at any time, if you're in the shade and you want sun, feel free to move. If you're in the sun and you're wanting shade, you can always move. So you can always change this up. If you feel comfortable lying on your back, you could walk your feet as wide as the mat. Allow your knees to tent in towards each other if you want. And then you might rest your hands on your belly or at your sides, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And then just take this moment to allow yourself to arrive. You might close down the eyes or soften the gaze. You might feel the breeze against your skin. As you breathe, you might feel your back body making contact with the earth. Maybe you think of this moment as a time to plug in. Recharging your body's battery. And as you begin to deepen your breath, you might just notice your thoughts. Each time you bring your awareness to your thoughts, you're practicing mindfulness. Maybe you recognize if the thoughts are useful for you right now. You could allow yourself compassion and let go of those thoughts, allowing your awareness to tune into your body. This summer in the park series, I've decided to take a journey through the yamas and the niyamas. And I have this wonderful book called The Yamas and Niyamas by Deborah Adele. And this is about yoga's ethical practices. So we think of yoga often as movement. And that is one aspect. We call those asanas. And there's also breath work, which we call pranayama. And then there are other aspects of yoga, like yoga's ethical practices. So the second yama is called satya, and it means truthfulness. I'm going to read a short passage from the book by Deborah Adele, and if it resonates with you, you're welcome to use this as an intention for your practice today. She says, the jewel of satya or truthfulness isn't safe, but it is good. Truth has the power to right wrongs and end sorrows. It is fierce in its demands and magnanimous in its offerings. It invites us to places we rarely frequent and where we seldom know what the outcome will be. When we are real rather than nice, when we choose self-expression over self-indulgence, when we choose growth over needing to belong, when we choose fluidity over rigidity, we begin to understand the deeper dynamics of truthfulness. We begin to taste the freedom and goodness of this jewel. In this book by Deborah Adele, she calls the ethical practices, each one is a jewel. Whatever intention you choose for your practice today, imagine that it is a jewel shining from your heart center. Just remembering that everything here today is an invitation. You have agency and choice, and you can always change your mind. Take a nice deep breath, and if you'd like to invite some movement, now realize you can also use this time as a restorative sound bath. So you could stay in this shape, but if you'd like to invite some gentle movement into the body, you might walk your feet as wide as the mat and allow both of your knees to fall to the right. Maybe turning your gaze over towards your left arm. Maybe you want to stretch your arms out into a big letter T shape. And then on your inhale, you can float your knees back up to center. Exhale, allow yourself to switch sides, bringing the knees over to the left. Maybe turning your gaze over towards your right arm. And then it's up to you to follow the pace of your own breath if you like, windshield wipering the knees from side to side. Possibly turning the gaze in either direction. And as you float through this movement, allow yourself to bring your awareness into those areas where you feel sensation. We'll take one more nice deep breath on this side, or on each side, I should say. When you feel balanced from left to right, you can find your way to a comfortable seat. Maybe you want to hug your knees in and rock and roll up and down the length of your spine, although I realize that could be quite bumpy on the earth here. Or you could roll onto one side and press yourself up into a seat. When you come up into your seat, you have the option, you could either cross your legs, or maybe it feels better for the knees to open the legs out wide, whatever would feel most comfortable. And then we'll just take a moment to close down the eyes or soften the gaze, lengthen through the spine. And on your next exhale, you could sort of roll your chin towards your chest, bowing your head towards your heart. On the next inhale, you might float your left ear over towards your left shoulder, feeling that gentle stretch along the side of the neck. Exhale, bow your head once more towards your heart. And then inhale, float the opposite ear over towards the shoulder, finding that extension, a little bit of stretch down the side of the neck. Without forcing, you can just move at your own pace, allowing yourself to tune into sensations. Notice where you can soften. Go ahead and take one more nice deep breath on each side. And the next time your head bows towards your heart, you might press into your palms and then gently lift your head. Well, press your palms into your knees is what I was thinking of. Once you lift your head and gaze, you can blink your eyes open. We'll sweep the arms up towards the sky, and then you can land one hand on the earth, reach the opposite hand up and over, and maybe even you want to look up at your hand if that feels okay for the neck. We'll start to paint some beautiful rainbow circles now. So you can start to dip your fingertips out in front and then circle, sweep the arm up and around, finding some nice big circles with the arm and the shoulder. You might follow the fingertips with your gaze. And one more time, just like that. And then we'll reach the fingertips up. You can press into the earth to lift your other arm up. And then we'll float that hand down to the ground, press into the earth, reach your opposite hand up and over, maybe gaze up at your fingertips. And then if you want to paint those nice big rainbow circles, maybe you can see the glittery rainbows. Radiating out of your fingertips. Fun fact, I'm also a math teacher, but I have a hard time keeping count. So I don't know how many that was, but I feel like it was enough. When you're ready and you feel like it's enough, you can reach your fingertips up, reach both hands up, and then bring your hands to your heart center. From here, we'll extend one leg long. So it can be the same leg as me or the other one. We have both sides. We'll do both sides. I'm starting out with my right leg, and then I have my left foot on the inner thigh. You can turn to face your foot and then just give your toes a little wiggle. Give it a little wave. Then you might inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, bring your fingertips down towards the ground or maybe towards your leg, and then just start to lean over that leg, any amount. If you want, you could reach your hand down onto your leg, maybe even down towards your toes if that feels comfortable. Wherever you want to stop. A fun variation if you're reaching for your feet is maybe to grab for the outside edge of that foot with your opposite hand. And then on your next inhale, you can sweep the arms up, bring the hands back to heart center, and then we'll lean it back, extend both legs, give them a little shake, and then you can bring your opposite foot to your inner thigh, turn to face those toes. You can give yourself a little wave, and then we'll inhale, sweep the arms up towards the sky, maybe look up, and then exhale, fold over that leg. So you can stay relatively upright with your spine long, or you could start to walk it forward, maybe even bowing over that leg, any amount that feels good to you. Beautiful. Maybe as you gaze at that foot, you can offer it so much gratitude, all the places it's taken you. We'll take one more nice deep breath here. And when you're ready, you can walk your hands back into center. Inhale to sweep your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, draw your hands to your heart center. And then you can lean back, stretch your legs long, give them a little shake. Now, it's totally up to you. We're going to do some cat and cows to move the spine. You might like to do this from a seat. If you don't want to be on hands and knees, you can bring your hands to your knees when you're in your seat. Inhale to lift your spine. Exhale to round. So this would be one option, or another variation is, we have infinite variations, is to come onto hands and knees into a tabletop position. I'll go this way. And then you can plant your palms underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Inhale to lower the belly for cow pose. Exhale to round into the spine for cat. And go ahead and follow the pace of your own breath, moving through your version of cat and cow. As you move your spine, you might feel the space that's created with your breath in between each vertebrae. After a few rounds of cat and cow, you're welcome to find any other movements that would feel good for you and your body. Maybe that's drawing a nice big circle with the belly button. Imagining you're tracing the inside of a hula hoop. If you're tracing a circle in one direction, the next time your belly button dips down towards the ground, you might decide to change the direction of your circle. Maybe you could take a moment to picture your spine, this intricate creation, allowing bubbles of gratitude to overflow from the heart center, circling around the spine. When you're ready, we'll meet back in center, and then you can peek over your left shoulder, bending your hip towards your shoulder. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, wag your tail to the other side. Maybe you want to do that 2 more times on each side. They should really call this pose happy dog, right? Picturing that baseball bat of a tail my brother's pit bull had. Just whap, whap. When you're ready, you can come back to stillness. We'll take a little break in either child's pose or down dog. So you might bring your big toes to touch, open your knees out wide, extend your arms out in front, and then maybe you lower your torso down to the mat, allowing your forehead to rest. If you prefer downward facing dog, you can always tuck the toes under, lift the hips up and back. Remembering that this is your practice. You have agency, you have choice. You can always change your mind. It's your prerogative. If you want to do a little side bend in your child's pose, you could press up onto your hands and then walk your hands over to the right, reaching your left arm long. I like to make a little pillow for my head, my forehead on my forearm. So I'll bend my right forearm and allow that my forehead to rest on the forearm. Allowing the breath to cascade down the side of the body from the fingertips to the base of the hip. Beautiful. Take one more nice deep breath on this side, and then you can press yourself up and walk to the other side. Maybe this time reaching the right arm long, you might bend the left elbow so you can make a little pillow for your forehead to rest on your forearm. It might feel good if you're resting your forehead on your forearm to just allow your head to gently rock a little side to side. Just giving your forehead a little massage. We'll take one more nice deep breath on this side. And then you can press back up into your hands and knees. From here, you can either stay on the palms, or if it's too much for the wrists, you could come down to the forearms. We'll extend the left leg back, tuck the toes under, press your heel towards the mat. One of my favorite teachers told me this is a great pose for if you're doing any bike riding, which I rode my bike here today. So you can feel that stretch maybe through the back of your calf, the back of your leg, or maybe you notice it in a different place. If you want to make this a little bit more challenging and make it a kind of a balance pose, you could either stay here or you could lift that heel right behind you. And then from here, you might decide to lift the opposite arm. We call this bird dog. We're dog themes in this park today. Didn't realize. When you're ready, we'll soften our hand and knee back down to the ground. And we're so lucky we get to do the other side. So extend your right leg back this time. Feel that nice stretch maybe through the back of the leg, the calf. Allow your breath to cascade down the back of your leg. And then when you're ready, if you want to turn this into that other shape, the bird dog, you could kick your heel back behind you. This might be enough, finding some strength, some stability here. Maybe extending your opposite arm long and asking yourself, what is required of me right now to stay in balance? This is a little challenge. On the next exhale, you can land your hand and your knee, and then maybe you want to sink back into child's pose or down dog one more time. Take a little rest, some pressure off the wrists. Feel your breath cascading down the side of your rib cage. Take one more nice deep breath wherever you're at. And then we are going to make our way down onto our bellies next. So if you want to come back up into tabletop, we could play around a little bit with plank. So you could walk your knees back and you're in a plank on your knees. You could also lower onto your forearms and you're in a plank on your forearms and knees. At any time, if you want, you could tuck your toes under, lift one or both knees. And then anytime you want to rest, you'll come down onto your belly. We call this Sphinx pose, with the elbows stacked underneath the shoulders. Now, let's think about being in the park. We're playful. So let's play around with a pouncing Sphinx. And this is basically like just a little bit of a core engagement exercise, thinking about our will and our desires. So with your elbows stacked underneath your wrists, you can come up either onto the knees. You're just drawing your belly button to lift and hover over the earth, or you can tuck the toes under, lift the knees. And whenever you want to rest, soften onto the belly, coming into Sphinx. So just maybe one more time. Pounce your Sphinx into your plank. And then when you're ready for a rest, soften your belly down. We'll extend the legs back behind us, tucking the toes, or untucking the toes rather. And then you can stack the palms and lower your forehead all the way down to the back of your hands. Take a moment to rest. Allowing yourself this moment to delight in a time of rest. We're so driven in our culture to produce, keep going, fire. And then this is the softening time. Can we ask ourselves how we can balance our effort with our ease? allowing the softness. When you're ready, you can lift your head, float your hands back behind you, and then turn your gaze maybe to the left so that you can soften your right ear down towards the mat. And you can soften all of your effort, allow your temple to kiss the mat. Might feel like a nice stretch for the side of the neck. And then on your next inhale, we'll gather our courage, our effort, our strength, our will, and start to float on the belly. So you can lift the head, the shoulders, the arms, the legs. Allow yourself to float here like you're a flying superhero floating over the earth. Maybe you want to sweep your arms forward and then exhale, fly them back. If that feels good, take 2 more rounds like that, or 3 if you like. The next time your hands land next to your hip, we're going to turn to the opposite cheek. So you can turn your gaze to the right, soften your left cheek down to the mat. Soften all of your effort. Allow yourself to practice that delight in a time of rest. Take one more nice deep breath here. When you feel ready, you can plant your palms underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes under, and then press up to tabletop. And we'll take a downward dog, but we are going to be heading to standing. So if you prefer to skip the downward dog, that's totally your option and a good choice to make for you, Mike, maybe today. So if you'd like to try the downward dog, you could tuck the toes under, lift the knees, send the hips up and back, lengthen through the spine. Maybe take a moment to pedal your heels, sashay your hips side to side. And then eventually we're going to make our way to a forward fold. So you can take your time, walk your hands towards your feet or your feet towards your hands. And then you might grab your opposite elbows and just allow yourself a moment to ragdoll here, gently swaying from side to side. Take a moment to shake your head no, and then nod your head yes, allowing yourself to practice saying yes and no. And then you can release your hands. We'll bring the hands to the shins, press into the shins or to the thighs, and then you can press up halfway so that your back is long and straight. And then exhale to forward fold. We'll sweep the arms up, circle sweep the arms, press into the legs, rise up to stand, reach, 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 and then exhale, draw your hands to your heart center. Go ahead and land in your mountain pose, Tadasana, finding your feet rooted on the earth. Maybe just take a moment to even close down the eyes or soften the gaze. Allow the shoulders to rest heavy away from the ears. And feel your feet rooting down on the earth. Take a moment to lean a little bit forward and then lean a little bit back just to find that center and feeling the round quality of your feet. And then maybe start to lean a little bit side to side, just like a pendulum, finding that equilibrium, that balance. And noticing how it is not a fixed place. It comes back to satya, truthfulness, and the need for fluidity. So when you're ready, you can find your balance, find your what you would consider to be your equilibrium. Blink your eyes open, and then we're going to come into a standing balance, tree pose, vrikshasana. We're going to be just like the trees. And we have lots of places we can stop along the way. And if we even wanted to, we could recruit a tree to help us with balance. So if you wanted to do the tree pose next to the tree, that would be okay too. So from here, we'll peel just the right heel off of the mat. And you might stay here. This is a delicious stretch for my foot personally. It's easier for me, right? Or you could bring the heel right to your ankle, and that feels kind of good too. I like that sensation of the heel pressing against the ankle. Or maybe you want to try to challenge yourself a little further, bringing your foot up to your calf. Or maybe some people like to plant their foot on their upper thigh. You might invite your hands to meet at your heart center and allow yourself to find a dristi. This is a gentle gaze point. Could be on the ground or maybe up at the horizon. Maybe you want to look at a tree. And then from here, go ahead and bloom your 3 middle fingers open. We're creating a lotus flower mudra. You can imagine your beautiful seed, your intention, that jewel is glowing here, planted in between your palms. And then feel free to send it out into the universe. Oh, let it all go. When you're ready, you can bring your hands back to your hips, kick your foot out in front, and then maybe you step your feet out wide and shake it all off. Just like a palm tree blowing in the breeze. Allow your arms to gently graze your sides. Maybe they give you a little massage. We'll take one more nice deep breath here. And then when you're ready, you can come back to center. And we're going to do the other side. We have 2 sides. So from here, you can peel your opposite heel. I'm on the left side now. You can peel your heel off of the mat. Maybe this is where you want to stay in your tree pose. And this is a wonderful place to be. Or you could open the knee. Maybe you bring the heel right to the ankle. And or you could slide your foot up below the knee or above the knee. I don't know that I would put it right on the knee. You can bring your hands maybe to meet at your heart center, finding that beautiful, gentle gaze, that dristi. And then bloom your 3 middle fingers open, create that lotus flower mudra. And then from here, you can send your intention, that glowing jewel, out into the universe. Let it go. When you're ready, you can bring your hands to your hips. Maybe you step your foot out and then shake it all off. Yeah. Let it go. Take one more nice deep breath. And then we'll come back to center, back to the front of our mats. And we're going to get ready for a lunge coming into warrior 1. So I'll step the right foot forward, the left foot back. And it's like your feet are on 2 different train tracks. And your back toes, they can kind of point out at an angle. Then from here, you can bend into that front knee, finding your warrior 1. Maybe you leave your hands at your hips, or you could invite them to your heart, or reach them up towards the sky. On the next exhale, go ahead and swing your hands down, and maybe you want to hover your torso forward. Inhale to slide the arms back up, reaching up, little back bend. And then maybe 2 more times, finding a little bit of movement with your breath. The next time you come back into your warrior one, we'll swing the hands back behind you. Maybe you interlace them or tug onto the back of your shirt, or you can just fly the hands back or bring them to your hips. We're going to come into humble warrior now. So take a nice deep inhale. On your exhale, you can hinge from the hips. Bring your torso down to rest on your front thigh. Allow your head to bow and hang heavy. And maybe it might feel good to peel your arms away, allowing them to fall overhead. Only if that feels okay for the shoulders. Take a nice deep breath here. And then you can land your hands on your low back, bring your hands to your hips, bring your torso back upright for warrior one. And then we'll step to the front of the mat and just find a moment to pause in your mountain pose, Tadasana. Maybe take a moment to close down your eyes, tune your awareness into your heart center, into your breath. And then when you're ready, you can blink your eyes open and we'll try the other side. So this time I'm stepping my right foot back, left foot forward, right? Is that true? Yeah, other side, good. You can bend into that front knee, find your lunge. And then from here, you can find your options for your hands, maybe to your heart center, or if it feels okay for your shoulders, you might lift your arms, lift your heart, lift your chest. On the next exhale, float your hands to your sides and lean your torso forward. Inhale to rise to center. Feel free to take 2 more rounds just like this. The next time we'll meet up in warrior one. We'll get ready for our humble warrior. So you can float your hands behind you. This time, maybe try to interlace them the awkward way. And then we'll find our humble warrior. Inhale to lift the heart, hinge forward from the hips, leading with the heart. Allow the torso to rest on your front thigh. You can bow your head. You might peel your arms away. Take a nice deep breath here. And humble warrior. Sometimes life takes a turn. And here we are, finding comfort. When you're ready, you can land your hands on your low back or bring your hands to your hips. And then we'll float the torso back upright. And you can step that foot back in to meet the other foot. Coming into our mountain pose, Tadasana. Close the eyes or soften the gaze. And then just take a moment to bring your hands onto your heart center. Feel your heart pounding in your chest. And just take a moment to imagine gratitude overflowing from the heart. Each little bubble of gratitude, maybe that you can assign it some thing that you're grateful for. And then we'll blink the eyes open. You can inhale, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive it forward. Inhale for halfway lift, pressing into your thighs, lengthening through your spine. And then exhale to forward fold. You can plant your palms and step your feet back for down dog, or take a child's pose, or come and sit however you want to rest. So take a moment to find a seat, whatever would feel comfortable for you, or your down dog, that's what I said, or child's pose. And then from here, you can bend the knees. You might play around with your crouching tiger, allowing yourself to hover for a moment, finding that strength. And then allowing your knees to soften down towards the earth. We'll walk the knees forward, come onto our seat, swing the legs around, and we're ready for our boat pose. So you can think of yourself, what are the water things you want to do this summer? Thinking of all the boat things. You can reach your hands out in front. Maybe you tuck them behind your thighs and you lift your legs, whatever would feel comfortable for you. You can reach your arms out in front, find that little bit of strength and quiver. And then we'll land the feet, press the palms forward, reach them back behind you, and you can plant your palms underneath your shoulders, walk your heels in, and we'll press the hips up for altar pose. Beautiful. When you're ready, you can lower your seat back down. Maybe you bring your legs out in front or hug your knees in and roll onto your back. Perhaps you're like me and you have a stick poking right into your lower back and you need to adjust. Maybe you want to close your practice with a little bit of happy baby. So you could walk your hands up onto your thighs or your calves or your feet. Allow yourself right now to recruit your inner child to play and take a moment to smile warmly on that childlike version of yourself. We're coming towards the end of class, believe it or not. So it's time for you to find your way to any other shapes that you would like to explore before your final rest. So if there's anything that you know you love that we missed out on in class today, this would be your opportunity to explore that now. Then when you feel ready for your corpse pose, Shavasana, you're welcome to make your way there. As you're making your way into your final rest, you're welcome to change your location if you feel you want to be in the sun or shade. And then I will continue with a few quotes from the book by Deborah Adele on the theme of satya. And then we'll have some quiet relaxation in the park in our corpse pose. Coming back to the idea of truthfulness, satya. She says, living the life that cries to be lived from the depths of our being frees up a lot of energy and vitality. The juices flow, and everyone around us benefits from the aliveness that we feel. We must be willing to take the risk to tell ourselves the truth and grow ourselves into someone who can trust themselves. Being truthful with ourselves makes us trustworthy. It frees up all the time we normally spend in guilt and regret from dishonesty. You can begin to deepen your breath now. Bring your awareness back into your intention. And just take a moment to notice that glowing jewel at your heart center. You can allow your awareness to follow those rays of light out of your body, out into the stars. As you rest your awareness there, you might practice awe and wonder. What an amazing opportunity it is to be here today, alive in this unique time and place. Time that will never happen the same exact way ever again. A time that has never happened the same way before. And then allow your awareness to gaze down at your body, resting here on the earth. Practice that gratitude of feeling how lucky you are to have this unique body. It's all yours. And allow your awareness to float back into your body, inhabiting this precious form. Feel the breath of life breathing you. Feel gratitude for the trees providing you with clean oxygen. Start to feel the caress of the breeze on your skin. And then you can start to invite some movement back into the body, wiggling the fingers and the toes, gently rotating the wrists and the ankles. Allow yourself to find a long body stretch, taking up all the space available to you. And then when you're ready, you can roll onto one side, find a fetal position there. Maybe pause for another few deep breaths. And then when you're ready, you can gently press yourself up into a seat. We'll end our practice today inviting our hands to the heart center if you like. And we can chant together one round of Om and then sing Shanti, 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 which means peace, peace, peace. Enough for each of us and the rest of the world. So go ahead and take it, or you're welcome to join in or listen. You don't have to sing along if you don't want to. So go ahead and exhale all of your breath out. We'll take a nice deep breath together for Om. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You can allow your head to gently bow towards the wisdom of your loving heart. It's such an honor and privilege to guide you all through your practice. Thank you so much for being here with me. Yay, Summer Park Yoga. I was going to say bye to the friends on Zoom.
I'm sorry I was so late, but I wanted to make sure I could get in for next week and